Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome to AdamMcKola TV. We are back for another video with some of the latest news surrounding Manchester United, and we have got a bit to get stuck into today as Avram Glazer was doorstepped by a journalist in Florida and refused to comment or speak with Manchester United fans. I'll be showing you that and reacting to that. We've also got some quotes from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and team news ahead of Manchester United's second leg in Rome in the Europa League semi-final. So we'll be getting stuck into that. But before we go any further, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button down below. Obviously, recently we hit 100k and we're trying to move on to the next target, let's say 150k. To help us do that, we need your help. So get hitting that subscribe button, like, comment and share and all that good stuff as well. Right then, let's get stuck into this and Avram Glazer. But first, check this out.
Do you have anything to say to Manchester United fans, Mr. Glazer? Is it time to sell the club, Mr. Glazer? Nothing to say at all. Are the fans just customers to you? Is the customer always right, Mr. Glazer? Nothing to say at all to the fans of Manchester United, Mr. Glazer. This is an opportunity for you. An apology, perhaps. Are the fans just customers to you, Mr. Glazer?
So there you go, no comment from Avram Glazer as he was doorstepped by a journalist in Florida and asked, are fans just customers? Nothing to say to the fans. Is there an apology? And yet again asked, are fans just customers? Avram Glazer refused to comment and drove away without a flicker of emotion, without anything. And this comes straight after, hot on the heels of his non-apology. Did he even write that apology that we saw on the Manchester United website where he said he was sorry for the way the European Super League stuff went down? Rather, he was sorry for getting caught out in the reaction to it. And then, of course, that he hoped to rebuild communication links between the Glazer family, Manchester United and the fans. Now, that's odd, because there's never been any communication links between the fans and the Glazers and Manchester United and all that. There just hasn't been any of that ever since they came into power in 2005 when his father took over the club in a leverage takeover. There has never been any communication between the fans and the board. I mean, there was a fans forum recently where Avram Glazer could have took part in. Guess what? He didn't. That was a perfect opportunity to speak to fans. And then straight after protests at Old Trafford, which sees, fans protesting, stopping the game, forcing the postponement of the biggest fixture in the Premier League calendar, he refuses to comment again, which kind of shows you his disregard for the fans' emotions, opinions, protests, everything. A complete disregard. Now, what's great is he'll know about it. He would have known about those protests. He would have known about the game being postponed, and it's coming hot, like in his face. In Florida, he's got journalists now asking him questions, and that's the power of what fans are doing. Now, the fans are going to continue these protests, and there's protests believed to be going ahead for the rescheduled fixture between Manchester United and Liverpool. And, let's hope Manchester United fans keep up the protests against Glazers, Arsenal fans against Kroenke, Liverpool fans against their owners, FSG, because if we can force the government into some legislation changes and we can force these owners to think twice about whether they want to be participating in English football when they clearly have such a disregard for the fans and the fans clearly don't want them about, then that would be great. And we need to keep this momentum going to enable that to happen. Credit to Sky for going out there and asking him. Obviously, they're well placed to do that. They'll have reporters all over the place. But it's glad to see someone getting in his face and asking him these questions. And no answer. Like, look, we all know what they're in it for. We all know. But they could have even, lie a little bit. Like, they can't even be asked to lie. That's how little they care. Not even we apologise. Not even it will be released. There's just nothing from them. Nothing from them. Like, just, I don't know, like, you could at least try and make this situation better for yourselves, and they don't, which shows you all you need to know about them, and it shows you why we need to keep these protests going. But yeah, oh man, disgusting. Look at the state of him as well. All that money, and you're balling around like that. Anyway, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was asked about the protests, as you'd expect. And there's a quote on the screen as well, and he was speaking about how fans have a right to protest in a civilised manner. He's in a difficult position, isn't he? He can't come out and say too much in support of the fans, because if he does that, then his bosses will have an issue with him and all that kind of stuff. And no manager's going to come out against their owners, you know what I mean? They're going to see themselves as somebody that can try and steer the club in the right direction. And if they do that, they're going to lose their job. Fergie didn't go against them. When they're in the power, in the positions, nobody goes against them. Jose Mourinho didn't. Van Gaal didn't. Moyes didn't. Like, you can't expect a manager to come out and say that. We saw Ollie's comments on it when the Glazers initially took over, and it's clear what he actually does think. But he's now in a difficult position, and I think it's really unfair, like, where fans are like giving him grief for doing that, calling him a Glazer apologist and stuff. Because if you're going to call him that, you have to call like the other managers that as well, because they are in a difficult position. He's not in a difficult position though in terms of the Europa League, is he? Except for Martial, Jones and Daniel James. We've got a fully fit squad. Daniel James adding his name to that. Ilanga will travel with the squad, the United Academy player. Be great to see if he could get onto the pitch at some point. Amad Diallo maybe as well. If United can get an early goal in Rome, which would surely, I mean, the tie looks difficult to turn around. Obviously Roma had a great result against Barcelona in the Champions League at their place, but it'd be difficult to see this team pull that off. But nevertheless, United get an early goal, you can start to bring in a few other players and see how they can fare and see if they can take their chances as well. So Manchester United with a big opportunity to get a place in a final, having failed in so many semi-finals before this. It'd be good to see United seal this job comfortably, get into that final without a sweat. I mean, that result last week was perfect, wasn't it? Especially after that first half when you're thinking, oh my God, what's going on here? We started off so well, let it slip a little bit. But in the second half, that performance was fantastic. Cavani was excellent, Bruno was excellent. And it was interesting, some of Bruno's comments today as well. He said, I got 2 goals and 2 assists in that match. Now, some people will look at that on paper and say that's my best match that I've had, but it wasn't. And it's good to see him. Like, obviously he cares about goals and assists, but he's clearly doesn't use them to value his performance, if you get what I mean. And I think he's right. I don't think that was his greatest performance, but it was a very good performance. And Bruno's had some stick, strangely enough, for not getting goals or assists in recent weeks. Before that, I find it a weird one. You know, no one's going to have that sheer, no one's Ronaldo or Messi. But still, if you look at the numbers don't lie, and they tell you he's a top class player, and you know, deserving of his spot in the team, one of the first names on the team sheet. So yeah, Bruno Fernandes, it'd be good if he could get a rest, or Rashford could get a rest for this one. Play Donny van der Beek maybe, or is that too much to ask? Anyway, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you're liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing. We will have reaction to the Roma game coming up as well, after the match on Thursday evening, so make sure you're joining us for that. Until then, I've been AdamMcKola. I'm out of here.